Hello, I am Catherine. Today I will continue with my last theme about the world dictator. It will be so easy. God could put in the Bible the name or more clarity about the world dictator, but he didn't do that because he wants that we read the word of God, that we speak with him, that we have a relationship with him. And people like instant coffee, everything instant. And this is why it's so complicated about to decide from which country or which kingdom will come the Antichrist. There are different opinions. Somebody wrote in my last video, under the last video, Obama is an American, and the world dictator will come out from Europe, so it's not possible. But the mother of Obama was from England, and she was a Jewish woman, and his father and stepfather was Muslim, and Obama is a Muslim. I don't say that because others said, but because God showed me this in a dream. And so there is always a discussion. Some people say the world dictator will be an Islamic leader, an Islamic prince. Others say he will come out from Rome. Myself, I see him out from Rome. But we have such a mixture of people today. So I will look a little Daniel. I made, and another thing, many forget something. Who is Rome since Rome fell? Who took over the role of Rome? Europe. And so Europe controlled almost the whole world until the Second World War. And who took over the role of Rome after the Second World War? America. So until today, America is the world power, but we see every day more that America is soon gone, and Russia, China, and others will take over. The question is what they will do with Islam. We will see. Will work with Islam. Until today they do so, or they will handle differently. We will see very soon, because we are in the last days. You see what is going on in America, in Europe, everywhere in the West. Some days ago in Ireland, not only in French, but also in Ireland, an Algerian man tried to kill a school class, children and teachers. And how reacted the Premier Minister of Ireland, who is an Indian man? He said the right radicals want to destroy the country. This was his reaction to this whole thing. And don't mix, he said, don't mix migration and criminality. Of course, a lot of criminality comes from the migrants, especially from the Islamic world. So you see, they don't want to see the problem because they have other plans. So I try to explain some things. We see in Daniel, and I made videos about Daniel in my, I don't know if they are in the one channel because I have two, but you will find if you give a look, and I speak a lot about all this in my videos. We see in Daniel 2, chapter 2, we see the king of Babylon. It was the Babylonian kingdom, today Iraq. And the king has a dream, and the prophet Daniel explains him what he saw. What he saw has to do with 4 kingdoms. You are the first one, the head. And then the second, the third, the fourth. He didn't say names, but we know first was Babylonian Empire. Before Babylon was Egyptian Empire, Assyrian Empire, but he begins here with the Babylonian Empire, then the Persian, then the Greeks, then the Rome. Rome is not with a name in Daniel, but we know it was Rome. And what he says, it will be a very strong empire as iron, but also it will be a weak one, and it will be a divided kingdom. And we know Rome was divided about 340 before 340 AD after Jesus Christ, about 340. There was a Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire with capital city Constantinople. For many years, you know this city as Istanbul. To this Byzantine Empire, who survived 1,000 years later than Rome, the Roman Empire, the Western, Constantinople was destroyed 1,000 years later. It's unbelievable, when the Turks came, the Osmanians. To this empire belonged Greece, Turkey, today Turkey, Syria, of course Israel. To every empire, Israel belonged to every empire who was possessed, Egypt, and some other countries. So we see it was divided, it was strong and weak, and they tried to mix through marriage, but it was never one. And suddenly God says, Daniel will destroy these kingdoms, and it will begin with the last one. So if we see that, then we must say the Antichrist will come out of the Roman Empire. But the question is, of which part? Of the Western or the Eastern? I go to Daniel 7. Now Daniel has a dream, and he sees again 4 animals. He sees 4 kingdoms in the kind of animals. He sees the lion, he sees the beast, lion with wings of eagle, he sees a bear, he sees a leopard, and he sees, the leopard had 4 wings, and he sees another 4th that was dreadful, very strong, great iron teeth, devoured and broke in pieces and stamped what was left with its feet. Exactly the same words like we find before for the fourth kingdom. Unbelievable. So now, who are these kingdoms? Are these kingdoms exactly the same like we saw before? Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome, Eastern and Western? Or are new countries, new kingdoms of today? For example, the lion is the symbol, was the symbol of Babylon. Today is the symbol of England, so you can say Europe. And the wings of eagle is America. And we saw in another video, in the last days, the wings of eagle will be taken away when the Antichrist, the Worlddictator, will come up. He has not wings of eagle because America will be taken over by Russia, China, and other countries very, very, very soon. Then we see the bear, and the bear was Iran, but today is, everybody knows, the bear is Russia, and Russia works with Iran, works with Syria, works with the Islamic world. Then we see the leopard, or panther in some other translations. And we know the leopard is Greek, the Greek Empire with Alexander the Great, and he has 4 wings. And we know after Alexander the Great died, 4 people took over. 1 in Greece, 1 in today Turkey, in this time was all this Greek, 1 in Syria, 1 in Egypt, and of course between again Israel. And we see the 4th beast. He doesn't say a name or an animal, he says only a 4th beast. And he says exactly the same words he used in the chapter 2 with the other kingdoms. And this will also, and he speaks also about the horns, and we know the world will be ruled by 10 horns. The Worlddictator will be the 11th. It's unbelievable how it's so interesting to read Daniel, and all the Bible is so interesting. And then we go to Daniel 8. I want to show you, we see the war. It's very good to read all Daniel. It's so interesting. We see the war between Persia and Greece. And the first king, he says, the horn you see is the first king. Alexander the Great was the first king of Greece, not of Skopje, of Greece. So we see, and it was in 4, as for the horn that was broken, in place of which 4 others arose. What I said before, after Alexander the Great, 4 took over. But not with his power. Nobody had after him the same power like Alexander the Great. And at the latter end of their kingdom, when the transgressors have reached their limit, a king of bold countenance, one who understands riddles, shall arise. His power shall be great, but not by his own power, and he shall cause fearful destruction, and shall succeed in what he does, and destroy mighty men and the people who are the saints. But by his cunning he shall make the seed prosper under his hand, and in his own mind he shall become great. Without warning he shall destroy many, and he shall even rise up against the Prince of Princes, this is Jesus, and he shall be broken, but by no human hand. God will kill him. So we see, after Alexander the Great, 4 kingdoms: Greece, Turkey, Syria, Egypt, and between Israel. But Israel will be attacked by the Worlddictator, so the enemies is the other ones. So we know the natural enemies of Israel are first the Arabic and today Islamic countries. These countries, before Islam came, had many gods. All these gods people have today, they came from the Middle East. But when Jesus, after Jesus resurrected and the gospel went to the whole world, these today Islamic countries were the first Christian countries. The first countries who had many, many Christians. Most of the saints that the Catholic Church has, that the Orthodox Church has and worship, they were from Egypt, Syria, Israel, Turkey, Greece, and so on. Antonius, as I know, he was in the desert, the Saint Antonius, he was in the desert of Egypt. So you see what happened. And the same can happen in our countries very soon, because we have now millions of Islamic people. But the Islamic world is not the only enemy of Israel. The world hates Israel because the world hates God. So it can, many people, most of the people, if they don't say Obama will be the Antichrist, they say a prince or somebody, Islamic person, will become the Antichrist, the world dictator. Is it possible? Absolutely. Or if you see all the empires, they were Arabic, or they belonged to the other empires, the Greek and the Roman Empire. But what was the Roman Empire? Europe and the Arabic world. What was the Greek Empire? Greece and the Arabic world. What was the other empires? The Egyptian Empire, the Assyrian Empire. Persians are not Arabic, but the Assyrian Empire, all these were Arabic empires. And what it says also here is, he will take over with deceit. If you remember Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, he became president because he betrayed the American people. He went to a church, he said he's a Christian, but he's a Muslim, and this is what God showed me in a dream. And I said in the dream, he betrayed the people, so he should give back his presidency. He went to Al-Azhar University in Cairo, and he said, America is not anymore a Christian country. He said that to Islamists, to radical Muslims. He said also, no one country has the right to tell others if they can have nuclear bomb or not. He said that as a president of America. And he said also in a speech that nobody should have a good life who insult the prophet. The prophet? Which prophet? Muhammad. So we see he received the peace, the prize for peace, and he began his wars. Bush destroyed Iraq, Clinton destroyed Yugoslavia and made 7-8 small countries who live from the West because they are not able to live. And all the other wars were by Obama. So the people hated America, not Obama. They hated America because of the wars. And all the Arabic Spring, all the revolutions happened in the time of Obama. So you see, a lot of things are hidden, but we will see very soon who will become the world dictator. Another thing, it is written he came with deceit. He deceived others. If you remember, in 2017, the Prince of Saudi Arabia, the Crown Prince, he became the Crown Prince. He shouldn't be because others were before him. But he collected all the prince, all the very rich people in a hotel, 200 people, in a very expensive hotel. It was closed, and he said, you go out only if you accept that I am the Crown Prince. So we see some people became presidents or prince or kings with deceit, by deceit. And I don't know if you are informed, there is a discussion that Saudi Arabia could take, could rule Gaza, could take the authority above Gaza. It will be a solution. And of course, then comes also the other parts and East Jerusalem. What is important? Saudi Arabia, and especially the Prince of Saudi Arabia, is not really against Israel. I mean, the whole thing is very funny. It's very special. The enemy number one of Saudi Arabia is Iran. And the number one enemy of Israel is Iran. They give weapons, they give everything to the terrorist groups. So the Saudi prince knows he needs Israel. Iran has atomic weapons, Israel has atomic weapons, and the Saudi crown prince, he knows he wants to build a big city in the desert somewhere. He needs technologies. He's somebody who gives himself very modern. He's for technology, he's for modern things. And so he wants to work with Israel. This is the first time in the history. I mean, if you think Saudi Arabia is the how can I say, the head of Islam. And he even, you could read in the last days, when the terrorists from Yemen, Houthi, threw missiles against Israel, Saudi Arabia kept these missiles back. Can you imagine that? It never happened before. I mean, it will be nice, but so could be an Islamic prince, the world dictator? Absolutely. he will not be beloved, but don't forget, if he brings peace between Israel and the Islamic world, the whole world, I just spoke yesterday again with somebody, and he said, or she, if Israel and if there is a Palestinian state, then peace is here. People think if Israel doesn't exist, or if there is a Palestinian state, then everything will be so peaceful in the world. And I told him, when you see the Palestinian state, then prepare for big, big, big catastrophes. Because when you touch Israel, God will take this earth and bring so. Then wait for big earthquakes and other catastrophes, especially in the West, because they will allow that. There was never a Palestinian state. I will put down in the information something you should read. There was never a Palestinian state. The name of the country was 3,500 years ago, Canaan, then became Israel, and from 135 AD to 1948, until the foundation of Israel, the Jewish people, the Israeli people, were the Palestinians, because the Caesar of Rome changed the name of the country and gave to the country the name of the enemies, the Philistines. Goliath was a Philistine. Do you understand? And even in Quran is written, Allah gave the Holy Land, Israel, to the Israelis. Can you imagine? When Muhammad took over the whole Middle East, also Gaza, why he didn't create a Palestinian state? Because there was no Palestinian. The Palestinians were the Jewish people. And it was about 700 years after Jesus. When the Turks controlled Israel 500 years, and the whole Middle East plus South Europe and East Europe, why they didn't create a Palestinian state? Because there was no Palestinian. The Palestinians were the Jewish people. I wrote about that, I spoke about that in older videos. If you give the name Israel in my channel, you find the videos. So that we will have big wars because of all this. And what we see in Daniel 9, we see the last 7 years. It speaks first about a prince who came and destroyed the temple. When happened this? 70 years after Jesus, Titus, the general of Rome, came with his soldiers and destroyed Jerusalem, destroyed the temple of God. But he says, the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. Titus destroyed the temple of God. The Worlddictator will not destroy the temple. He will allow the building of the temple, and in the last 3.5 years of the 7 years, he will go in the temple and declare himself to God. And he, the Worlddictator, shall make a strong covenant with many for 1 week, and for half of the week he shall put an end to sacrifice and offering. And on the wing of abomination shall come one who makes desolate until the decreed end is poured out on the desolator. So the world dictator is coming. First, in the first 3.5 years, he will allow the temple. In the last 3.5 years, he will go in the temple. He will put his picture, the abomination of desolation. This is the abomination of desolation, and he will be destroyed by Jesus Christ. So you see, we are so near. Everything now is going around Israel, around the Palestinians, around the Palestinian state. The world sees only one solution, a Palestinian state. It will come, but then wait for big catastrophes. God will judge this world. This earth will not know what is down and what is up. He will shake the world, because who touch Israel, the land of God, touch Yahweh, touch Jesus Christ, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Alleluia. Prepare your heart to give a look at my website or my videos, pray and prepare for what is coming. Goodbye, God bless you.